Every great story has a turning point. For Israel, that turning point wasn't a new king or a rebuilt temple. It was a promise that God himself would no longer just dwell among his people, but within them. The promise of the Spirit is God's covenant pledge to pour out his Spirit on his people, bringing new hearts, true holiness, and lasting communion with him. Isaiah foresaw it. Until the Spirit is poured upon us from on high and the wilderness becomes a fruitful field. For centuries, that promise lingered like morning dew, foretold, longed for, but not yet fallen. The prophets kept repeating it. Ezekiel said, I will put my spirit within you. Joel thundered, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Each line carried the same heartbeat. Humanity cannot change itself, only God's presence can. Cyril of Jerusalem summed it up. The Spirit was promised by the prophets, bestowed by the Son, and now rests upon all believers. Then Jesus arrived, not only to fulfill the law, but also the promise. Before ascending, he told his disciples, Behold, I am sending the promise of my Father upon you. John explains, the Spirit had not yet been given because Jesus was not yet glorified. The cross and the resurrection were the hinge. Once Christ was glorified, the Spirit was unleashed. And on Pentecost, it happened. Wind, fire, tongues, transformation. Peter declared, this is what was spoken by the prophet Joel. Thomas Aquinas said, the Holy Spirit is given as a promise fulfilled to sanctify and indwell believers as temples. What once touched a few now filled all who believed. This is the new covenant in action. The Spirit writes God's law on our hearts, empowers us for witness, and assures us we are His. John Owen called the Spirit the sum of all covenantal blessings. As Paul wrote, you were sealed with the promised Holy Spirit, the guarantee of our inheritance. That means you are not alone. The Spirit is with you, in you, and for you. You're empowered to witness, strengthened to endure, and comforted in weakness. The same Spirit who hovered over creation now dwells within your heart, bringing life where there was none. The promise of the Spirit isn't a side note. It's the heartbeat of the new covenant, promised by the prophets, secured by the Son, and poured out at Pentecost. The Spirit is God's own presence, indwelling, empowering, and assuring us we belong to Him. So here's the question. If the Spirit who raised Jesus from the dead lives in you, what kind of life should that produce?